Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Simpson, and I help people get stronger and more flexible in their body and mind by teaching them a revolutionary posture and movement system that enables them to participate in any sport or daily activity with grace and ease. And today I'm here with Mackenzie. She is a chiropractor, and we're going to learn more about spine health. So Mackenzie, can you tell us a little bit more about your specialty?
Yeah, so my husband and I are both neurologically based chiropractors. So what that means is we really focus on how your body is functioning as a whole rather than just where your pain is located. I'm also personally specialized in pediatrics and pregnancy as well, so that we can make sure kids are getting adjusted as soon as they're born, so that they can grow up into healthy adults.
Okay, so would you say people come to you because they have a backache, or they're coming to you for something else? What kind of neurological issues would people come to you for?
Yeah, so we do get your traditional, my neck hurts, my back hurts, I need a chiropractor kind of thing, but we take them through an education process to let them know that chiropractic helps with so much more than that. And we see people for allergies, ear infections, gastro, like reflux disease, things like that. So tons of things with the body. It's definitely capable of being helped with chiropractic. So
I think I heard you say allergies. How can cracking my back help me with my allergies?
Yeah, so that's actually a miscommunication with chiropractic. So we actually don't do any twisting, cracking, or popping in our office. We actually use an instrument. The tip of it's about the size of my pinky, so we can get on one bone at a time. That's where we really realign those bones, focusing on your nervous system. And so allergies is really just a miscommunication of that C2 level in your spine, where your body may have like an overhistamine reaction to something. And so it's just really imbalance of chemicals. And we just help balance that out by getting your nerves adjusted.
Interesting. So C2, that's my neck vertebrae, right?
Yep. So the second bone in your spine. Yeah.
And how do bones in the how does the second bone in my spine get out of place?
Yeah, so a number of things, posture being one of them. A lot of people nowadays look down a lot at technology, things like that. Accidents, traumas, just overloading your nervous system by like overstressing, things like that can even get those bones out of a proper alignment.
So let me just reiterate what you just said. Postural habits can change the alignment of our spine. Oh my gosh, I work with people all the time who have created a C-shaped curve in the spine. And when I'm talking about a C shape, I mean the head is forward of the shoulders, the tailbone is tucked, and there is just one scooping curve of the spine. And what I help people do is to open up the spine and get a curvy spine. Do you advocate for a curvy spine in your practice?
Absolutely. There should be 3 curves in your spine, looking at a side view. And we definitely encourage people to get better posture to help keep your spine that way.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So going back to the allergy, can you make it so I'm not allergic to my cat anymore by adjusting my neck with your little hammer tool?
It seems crazy, but I have seen people's allergies to environmental things like that get a ton better. My personal issue with when I was seeing a chiropractor was seasonal allergies. I used to have to get like the shots every 6 weeks, and I was on 2 medications. Now I don't take any of those, which is awesome. But I have seen people's allergies get better to those things because your body has a higher threshold now of what it reacts to. So,
oh my God, that's beautiful. So you said that you don't do any back popping or cracking. Is it bad to pop our back? Sometimes my back will pop a little bit. I can twist it and it goes crack, crack, crack.
Yeah. So when you're doing stuff like that, kind of that self-manipulation, it's really not harming you anyway. Those bones, that cracking sound is really just joints releasing gas, releasing endorphins. So that's why it feels so good to you. But with that, found that our technique, we get better results faster. We don't have to fight that muscle response that blocks that adjustment with our hands. So just really, we don't have to get that cracking sound to move a bone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. It might not feel as wonderful as the endorphin rush you get from a cracking, but It sounds like it works better and faster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So what kind of manipulations would you do for somebody who has a lower back pain? I hear that all the time. And what causes the lower back pain?
Yeah, so a number of things. A lot of times with people with super low back pain, we see are heavy computer sitters, or they sit all the time, they're driving all the time. Just a lot of force on that low back where it's not able to function properly. We do the same thing. We find what's going on in their spine and we adjust it. Sometimes it's a low back, sometimes it's not. So
you're saying that sitting down all the time is not good for our back.
It is not, especially when you're sitting down improperly.
What would you call improper seating?
So any type of position where you're forcing your spine to be flat, you don't have like a lumbar support, you're like heads down, your shoulders are slunched forward, you're really putting a ton of pressure on your entire spine when your body, like you said, is in that kind of C shape, which is kind of the posture that we're all used to at this point.
Yes, yeah. Indeed we are. And it feels somewhat foreign to open up the spine and find those three curves, especially if we spend our whole life hunching over and tucking down. So if someone gets an adjustment from you and they find relief of their low back pain, will it be permanent, or should they change the way they sit, or perhaps find exercises that help them keep it like that?
Absolutely. I would love for all things in life to be one and done, but that's just not how it is. Going to the gym one time is not going to get you the results you want. Taking yoga one time is not going to get you the results you want. So we really advocate on kind of like a maintenance care to not only get chiropractic adjustments often, because you go through stressors every single day. So it's not going to be perfect every single day, but also just making sure you're doing good posture every single day to kind of minimize those effects. And also stretches, it's really going to help you keep those muscles loosened up too. So there's a number of things. It's about having a healthier lifestyle versus just one quick fix.
Can you heal someone who's had an injury to their spine that is very profound, or perhaps had surgery in their spine that they have artificial pieces in their spine now?
Yeah, so it definitely depends on the injury and depends on the state of the surgery. But even people who have spinal fusions, we really like to see them because that bone is now working twice as hard to stay stabilized. And so we like to adjust above that and below that to make sure you don't need more fusions moving forward in your life. So we work with a number of people. We do assessments to see where you're at and what we can do to help you before we go promising, results and everything to everybody. So
would you say spinal fusion is necessary in some people, or could they avoid the surgery perhaps with proper exercise, posture, and chiropractic?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that those kind of surgeries are preventable in every way. But if you're to the point where your bones are already fusing on themselves because of just the degeneration that you've put your body through and the stress you put your body through, some points, that's really all you can do to stabilize that joint. But if you start early enough, young enough, you can definitely prevent any of those things from happening.
Awesome. That's good news. And I just had a thought come to mind. So you do a lot of work on bones, right? Do you help people with their knees, their elbows, or their wrists, other bones of the body?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single joint is affected by your spine. So the hips, if they're not in proper positioning, it can affect your knees, which then you're walking weird, which can affect your ankles and your feet. So we really align the spine and get the hips kind of level before we go looking at elbows, shoulders, knees, feet. But we absolutely align those if we need to.
Do you physically manipulate the other bones, or only do manipulations on the spine?
It depends on, I think, the case. We typically like to use our instrument for all of it, but if it needs a little bit more extra of a force to get back into alignment, we will use our hands too.
Awesome. What is the most profound and beautiful story that you have witnessed in your career as a chiropractor?
So this one actually happened 2 days ago, which is why I bring it up. We had someone start care with us about a month ago, and she is older. And she's had periods of like incontinence, so not being able to control her bladder for years. And she'd always have to change her clothes like 3 times a day. So after starting care with us, she has gone about 2 weeks now without a period where she had to change her clothes. So she's really in control of her bladder now. And it's really been life-changing for her, because if you have to walk around not being able to control your bladder and then change your outfits, like that's pretty crazy for most of us to think about. So that was pretty awesome to hear that she's doing a lot better with that.
Wow, that is amazing. So I have studied that in relation to pelvic floor help. Was the manipulation you gave her altering the state of her pelvic floor muscles? Is that how she saw the results?
Yeah. So the pelvic floor muscles being in a weakened state, not being able to control her bladder, those nerves in her low back and her pelvis supply those muscles. So even just waking up her nerves in her low back by removing those pressures from those misalignments allowed her muscles to work properly. So.
Oh my God, that's mind blowing. So I know people who have gotten help by seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist for that. Are you saying that we could skip that and just go to chiropractic?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the case again. But we always love seeing people to remove that, any kind of nerve interference you may have. And if we still need a little extra support with a physical therapist for muscle strengthening, we will definitely refer out for that. So.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. My brain is just exploding with ideas. I've got, wow, what can't chiropractic help us with?
Honestly, just regrowing limbs, probably.
How about fertility? You said that your specialty is prenatal, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah. So, pregnancy, I'm really passionate about. I love seeing people for infertility. There's specific bones in our spine, the L3 and our sacrum, that are really huge on infertility, and just educating about that has really been awesome. I'm seeing a couple people right now for infertility, so I'll keep you updated.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Do you ever work with any older women who are trying to get pregnant?
Yeah, so I'll work with anyone who's had struggles getting pregnant. They've been trying for a couple of years, failed IVF, things like that. I'm up for the challenge on figuring out the cause. It's definitely related to something in the body's not working right, and we're going to figure it out. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I've been researching a lot about foot health and have drawn a correlation between the shape of our shoes and the condition of our feet. It seems that our shoes are putting our feet in a position that creates bunions. And from my work with my clients and my work on myself, I found that this bunion can wreak havoc all the way up the line, from the ankle to the knee to the hip and eventually to the spine. Have you seen such cases yourself?
Yeah, so the shoes that we're being forced to wear, for fashion, things like that, aren't really great. But those bunions, they throw off the biomechanics of the foot, which then going up the ladder, throw off the biomechanics of the knee, throw off the biomechanics of the hips. And then all of a sudden you're just having tons of back pain, you're walking weird. So bunions aren't fun at all.
Yeah, definitely not. I've seen and bought some myself, shoes that actually are wider at the toe bed instead of smaller. If I guarantee you, anybody watching this video, Mackenzie, you look in your closet, every pair of shoes will have the toe smaller than the ball of the foot. And that's ludicrous, because the actual shape of a foot is the toes are wider than the ball of the foot. And I found it very interesting. My ex-partner was from India, and he grew up not wearing shoes. He said that they grew up not wearing shoes, and when they did wear shoes, they would wear a sandal. And he had large spaces between all of his toes. They were splayed out, which was very different from mine, which even when I'm not wearing a shoe are crowded into one another. And you just imagine what kind of effect that has up the line. So the shoes that I've been interested in now have the toe bed wider than the ball of the foot. Now, these shoes are easy to find, especially in the United States. Have you done any research or looked into those at all?
Yeah, so I actually used to work for a podiatrist connected to like an orthopedic shoe store. So I know a little bit about feet and shoes, but I typically try to find shoes that are wider at the toe base. And if not, just going up about half a size, making sure the widest part of your foot is in the widest part of the shoe is going to help tremendously, even if you can't find something that allows your feet to be free fully.
Oh, that's a good idea, because I know some of these barefoot style shoes are quite expensive, but that's a good tip to get a half a size bigger. I love that. Well, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience today? So you have an audience full of athletic people, of yoga interested people, or people who are studying the Bowspring method. What would you like to share with them?
Yeah, I mean, everything in life is important for your health. Definitely making sure that your brain is communicating with your body properly through good chiropractic care. You guys are already working well on your posture with Bowspring. So just getting everything that you need to put all your pieces to your puzzle to get together so you can have the best version of yourself. We are always here to help people. If you're looking for a chiropractor, want to try our method, anything like that. So
where can people reach you if they are local, living in the Indianapolis area? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so our website is newwavegreenwood.com. You can also contact us through that. All of our information's on there. We are off of exit 101 on County Line Road in Greenwood. So we are just right in the Indy area and very good location to serve anybody.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. And I will leave your name in the comments. So if anybody has any questions for you, I'm not sure if I'm able to take any questions right now. Oh, Brenda says, good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, Brenda. If you have any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Looks like no questions right now. If you watch this video later on and have any questions, please feel free to leave your question in the comments, and Mackenzie or I will be glad to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Mackenzie, for being on my